Good morning. I'm going to tell a story about something that happened in Sydney uh, around 20 years ago. It's about synchronicities. It's about that thing that we call coincidence when we don't know what we talk about and when we don't know how this illusion we call existence works. But when you start a little bit to understand how everything's unfold and that everything is just a temporary acting, a temporary stage, a temporary joke, you slowly start to understand that there is not such a thing as a coincidences. There is no such a thing as a random happening, because there is not. At least it's not in my journey. So over the years, one of the main themes of my life has always been, or at least the one that I started to notice more, was that the so-called synchronicities, those basically like apparently random events that actually are not, that are connected, has a meaning, and that the meaning is something that you might understand or might not understand immediately, but that it has one. For me, synchronicities was something that at the beginning started to make me think about where I was in and what was exactly what we call life, and how real it was. So I had many. I told you about many of them, and some small, some very big, and but all of them they played an important part in what I believe now. So this is like relatively small synchronicity, but you know, in the bigger picture, is actually a big one. So I want to start with when I was before I left to Australia. So when I was still living in Italy, at the time there was a politician from my hometown that somehow, only God knows how, managed to get to the highest positions in the government, joining one of the many corrupted party. And at the time, one of those was called the Forza Italia, that was led by this guy called Silvio Berlusconi, that now died. And he became, I wouldn't say famous, but became infamous because during a meeting at the government, he basically punched another politician, I guess, because for some disagreement. So he went on the news, and obviously being from my hometown, and people knew his family. His family, wife and kids were at the time they were still living in my hometown. So obviously people start to notice them even more than before. Now, I don't remember how I knew the son, but I knew him. We were not friends because he was younger than me, but I knew him. I knew who he was. For some reason, I knew who he was. And moving forward, I leave Italy, I moved to Australia, and And basically, I think it was already a month that I was in Sydney, and I was going to take the train. I think to go to work, maybe, can't remember. I was going to take the train for some reason, and in Sydney, among hundreds and hundreds of people in the station, who I get, who who I see in front of me, like waiting for the train. It was this guy, the son of this politician. This guy that the only reason why I knew him at some point because of what that happened just before I moved to Australia, and you know, amongst the many countries that I could meet him, met him in Australia, 30 hours flight away from my hometown, at the right moment, at the right time, in the right day, right in front of me inside the train station in Sydney. So obviously I call him, I say hi. Now it passed so much time. I can't remember if he told me that he was there to study or for holiday. But, we just say hi. It's like, the usual things. Like, oh my God, you are here. Oh my God, yeah, you're here as well. What a coincidence, blah, blah, blah. We say goodbye, we move on with our life. That was my very beginning with Synchronicities. And more happened during that time, some really big, like the one I told a few times of Bradley. And that was like, at the time, obviously, I had no idea why that happened. But then, as I said, when you start to see how your life unfolds, you kind of realize that every happenings is like a piece of a puzzle, and then once you start to look back, you can see all those pieces that slowly connect to each other, all those dots connecting to each other. So I would say that was the meaning of that synchronicity. Was, I think, one that I was aligned with. I was in the flow of the energy. I was aligned with the energy of the universe, and it's because that's what normally that happens to me when I'm aligned energetically, and my frequencies are higher. And then obviously it was something that I believe was for me, so that after having more synchronicities, I could actually realize that this is just illusion. It's just a game. We perceive it so badly as a something real, as a something with such a powerful. How can I say? Not with the same like meaning, because we don't even know if there is a meaning. Maybe the meaning is just to merely exist and experience all this range of feelings, emotions, events, and people, and so on. But you realize that is just really not real. I mean, I kind of like forget where I was heading with what I started. But when you once I started to have like more and more synchronicity, and some of them really big, for me it was kind of realization that it's all an illusion. But because the way how we've been programmed, we feel it so real, and we give it to our emotions so much weight, so much importance, that everything else around us is perceived as something real, and we give so much importance. But then, like, events like that, I mean, even now, I know it's an illusion. I know that nothing really matters than probably just trying to be a good human being and helping other human beings and being nicer to other human beings. But still, because of those emotions that makes me perceive this as something so real and so important, that I often slip back, like on the acting of the acting of this acting in this movie, as if this movie was real, and as my acting was actually something real, when I'm only acting a role and I'm just wearing a costume. So I cannot say what is right or wrong for you people. I believe that all of you have your whole journey. I can only share those experiences that I think are pieces of a puzzle for someone else, are dots that someone else might connect for their own journey, understanding, and that's it. That's for me. Even talking, when I'm talking on those videos, it's just like a reminder that I need to reprogram myself to the fully understanding that this is not real, and to really don't let the emotions make me feel that it is real. Because obviously when you feel sadness, grief, pain, you feel it. We know it's an illusion, but the program is there to make you feel it and make you feel bad. And it's so hard, but it's achievable to realize that it's all part of a program, is not real, and not to give importance to what we feel, especially when we feel bad. So we all in a journey. We all try to learn, understand, and go through this movie we call life. Have a good day, everyone, and wherever you are in the world, enjoy the movie in peace and love.